Um, I wanted to make a video just kind of telling my story in life so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. If you are a close personal friend or have followed any of my Tumblr posts, you probably know some of this already, but I wanted to share it with the people that don't. I got really sick last semester out of the blue. Um, my skin started getting super dry. Um, I started getting really tired. I could barely get out of bed. I started getting really bad anxiety and depression, and just really honestly hated life. I I would never kill myself, but if I had that type of a personality, I think that I probably would have. Um, it was a really dark period in my life. There was points where I um, would just be sitting in my room crying for no reason, or I'd get panic attacks and be in my closet crying just so I could get away from people. I would feel so overwhelmed by all of my food allergies that I had that I would actually panic when it came to making food, or if someone asked me about food, or if someone tried to ask me what I was about to eat for lunch or dinner, I would just like hyperventilate and not be able to talk to them. And I went to tons of doctors, and none of them could figure out what was going on, what was wrong. I hadn't had my period in a while, and just like all these weird symptoms that were completely unrelated to one another and unable to be diagnosed. I think I saw probably over 7 or 8 doctors in the span of 6 months. So many blood tests, so many different opinions, and it was just insane and so much to handle. And so after 6 months of not knowing what was going on, feeling alone in it, um, I came back to school, and for my sophomore year, thinking like, well, what else am I gonna do? I might as well just go back, and um, it was miserable. I cried every day. One of my teachers asked like what we found joyful in life, and I almost started bawling because I couldn't think of one thing that I could say made me happy at that time. And praise God, my sister and her husband called me up that night and told me that they had been praying about me and my situation, and they invited me to come live with them in Texas for that semester. And I just felt a really good peace about it. And so I moved into Texas. I packed up my dorm room and packed up my car and headed on over. And I spent my time there not only figuring out myself, but I did a lot of counseling. I did a lot of self-searching with God and devotions, and I fasted, and I did so many things that helped me. I had been feeling really stressed out about my food allergies, like I mentioned, and I did a fast with my church, and we fasted for 3 days, and I've never fasted before in my life. And pretty much fasting is where you eliminate food or something in your life that's very time consuming or thought consuming. So I gave up internet and food. And so I was praying for healing, emotional healing, and freedom from food and from feeling that restriction. And by the end of the 3 days, I just felt such a peace and such a I don't even know how to explain it, but I just felt God's hand in my life, and I felt His embrace. And the church as a community took communion, and in that moment, right when they mentioned communion, I just felt God saying, Kayla, you have to go and have communion in whole, which I haven't had communion in 5 or so years or 3 or 4 years because of my gluten allergy. And so God was telling me, Kayla, you need to have faith that you're not going to get sick with this bread, and you need to have the body of life inside of you, and you need to restart. And after that moment of faith that I did that, my entire outlook on life was like a 180. I started feeling better. I didn't have depression anymore. I stopped taking my depression and anxiety pills. I was able to talk to people. I didn't get overwhelmed anymore, and I felt a lot more freedom with food, and I felt so much grace and forgiveness, and I felt just so much freedom, and like so much was off my shoulders. And it was kind of like I was trying to deal with all of it by myself without giving any of it to God. And once I did, everything started getting better. And I just can't even imagine where I would be, or if I would even be here if I hadn't have done that, and if God hadn't have helped me through that. And so since then, I have just been trying to find the things that bring me joy in life, and cooking is one of them, because since I do have food allergies, it's a lot easier to embrace it than to fight it, and to find things that you enjoy eating and to work with it, and to make things that you find tasty and delicious and fun, and that are healthy for you, and that they influence a healthy feeling inside of yourself. And that's kind of where this blog, Kayla's Joy, came from. My name is actually Kayla Joy, and pretty much this blog is an open-ended blog for me. It's going to be food, it's going to be fitness, it's going to be fashion, it's going to be whatever is bringing me joy, and whatever I find fun and interesting and joyful, and rejoicing what God has gifted me with. And I hope that you guys will join me in this journey of all things that are filled with joy. And I really appreciate everyone who has helped me, and my sister who guided me and put up with me when I was angry and mean and crazy. I mean, I was hearing voices when I opened up refrigerators, and like, I am just so grateful for everyone who stood by me and didn't lose faith and kept praying and persisting and loving me. And also everyone who followed me on my Tumblr blog and giving me support and being friends to me when I felt like I didn't have any friends. And it's just such an interesting community with blogs, because there's strangers, but for whatever reason, they decided that my life was worth it, and that they wanted to read about what was going on in Kayla's life. And I'm kind of crying. And yeah, like, you guys really helped save my life, and I don't even know any of you, so thank you for that. But since then, I have found a doctor. This is like a really all over the place video. Since then, I have found a doctor, and they found out what they think is going wrong outside of what was going on with depression and anxiety and feeling burdened and the devil attacking me, which is a whole different story. But it was, sorry, I keep spacing out. The doctor we found told me that my thyroid isn't working, and that I might have a case of Hashimoto's. And so I've been taking thyroid medication and moving up on dosages until we get to the working dose that I'll have to take for the rest of my life. And I'm just super grateful for that doctor for listening to every symptom, listening to every um, situation, and looking at every blood test, looking at every level. And yeah, so my that's my story. I'm sorry, it's so spacey. Um, it really is. It's crazy. It's insane. It's ups and downs. It's a story of experiencing the trials in life, and also experiencing how much Satan can push down and strangle your life, and how God can rip his hands off of your neck and save you. Um, that's my life, is a story of God's strength and mercy and love. And so, thank you for watching this, and I hope to open up to you guys more throughout my blog, and I hope that you guys will continue to support me, and I love all of you, and thank you so much for being who you are.